it is very hard when you have to increase taxes, no matter when you have to increase taxes.
You didn't want to do it.
I don't want to do it. I hate taxes. I hate the word taxes and all of those things. But there's certain times where you have to forget about the ideology and, all of this and fix problems. People want to fix problems.
That is exactly the same debate that's going on in Washington right now. And there's this question whether the federal government should step in and throw a lifeline to the automobile industry, the domestic automobile industry. Should they?
Well, first of all, I think the important thing for the federal government is to look at and follow through with what they intended to do in the first place with the $700 billion. I think the key thing is to show consistency to the financial community and to the American people, so that you don't have to, going back and forth and changing too many times, and also to show to the world, financial community, that America has its act together. We know there's a problem in the economy, and here's how we fix it. So that's number one. Number two, I think it's important for the United States and Washington to look at the states, which states are struggling, and maybe helping them out. Number three, if they go in the direction of helping companies like the car manufacturers, I think it's very important to not just put money in, but let's go and see if they have been fiscally responsible and if they're really operating the right way. Because right now, all of those, if you pay the auto workers or the benefits and all of those things are maybe too high. That right now, if you compare to Germany and to Japan and to other countries, they can build cars cheaper, and they don't have that overhead with the amount of what they pay to the workers, the benefits they provide. We have, like in America, you sell a car and you have $2,000 of each car. It just goes to benefits. So I think that there is a way of reducing all of that, make them more fiscally responsible, and then if they have to act together and have renegotiated those deals, then yes, you can go in there and help them out financially.
Democrats have said that some of that $700 billion should be used for the auto industry. You're for that if the auto industry agrees to make some changes?
It really changes that are fitting our time today. This is a different world. Anyone that wants to go and think that they don't have to shift down and make changes, if it is states, if it is local government, if it is the auto industry or any other industry as far as that goes, they're living in a dream world or in a fantasy world. You got to recognize that this is the time now to renegotiate and to work in a different way. Like we have proposed a furlough to have, our state workers, for instance, not work 1 day a week and not get paid for that day. We got to find ways to cut down because there's not that much money around right now. It's a different world.
So reform, but if they reform, then they can get some of the federal money.
Then I'm fine with it, yes.
You mentioned the stimulus, aid to state and local governments as well. You've actually petitioned President Bush and leaders in Congress saying that they should pass a stimulus package now, yet President Bush is resisting that, so are your Republican colleagues in the Congress.
Well, I think that there's different ways of thinking, that doesn't mean that when I, as a governor who have my stated interest, I represent the state, I don't care about, what anyone's philosophy is. I will fight for the state of California. And so I propose that we should get help from the federal government if we can, again, also like the car manufacturers, can prove that we have our fiscal house in order and that we can solve our problems ourselves, but give us in this emergency kind of a situation or in this crisis some additional money, help us with Medi-Cal and with some other kind of things, that because remember that Washington is collecting from California so much money that they giving us 80 cents on a dollar. So I think when we are in a state of emergency like this, I think that Washington can give some of that money to the state. And we're not talking about a lot of money, but maybe $5 billion a year for the next 3 years until we get out of this economic crunch that we're in.
The economic advisors to President-elect Obama see this emergency as well. And some of them say, next year we're going to have 8 or 9% unemployment in this country. The Federal Reserve is out of any room to maneuver, and they say that it might even be necessary to consider a stimulus package of $500 billion, $600 billion. Do you support that?
Well, I cannot get into the numbers, but I can tell you one thing. The most important thing right now is to recognize the fact that this is not the end of the economic slowdown. There is no sign that shows that there's an upswing next year. So when you come up with rescue packages or with economic stimulus packages and all of those things, don't think just about now. Think what will happen within the next few months or the next year. Things will get worse. Unemployment will get worse. The housing crisis will get worse. The mortgage situation is going to get worse. So what we have to do is we have to plan for that worst situation rather than always 1 month at a time. And then each month we have to make the adjustments and adjustments and adjustments. And that's when the people of the United States and of the various different states start losing faith in government. They say they don't have to act together. They change all the time. They change the package all the time. They have a rescue package number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. Why not just come up with a good program? And of course there is a good reason, because I think that no one really knows what's going to happen to the economy 100%. I mean, you know, as you could see with the stock market, one day it's up 500 points, the next time it's down 500 points and all of this. But I think that it is wise, and I have told our legislative leaders to plan for the worst.
President Bush yesterday gave a speech where he warned against too much interference in the market.
History has shown that the greater threat to economic prosperity is not too little government involvement in the market, it is too much government involvement in the market.
Well, the sad story here is that it was government that created the problem in the first place. And so I think that government is responsible to help, but then it depends to what extent. Well, you know, I think the whole housing crisis, the mortgage crisis, and all of those things with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, and the way they were pushed to give everyone the chance to be part of the American dream, it's a nice thing. It's wonderful to thrive for everyone being part of the American dream and have home ownership. But you got to look at, can people afford it? Who can afford it? You cannot go and give someone that has no, a proof of a regular income and has no assets and has no equity in the house, and just give them a loan and just throw the loan after that person and hope for the best, just so that you can bundle up all those mortgage deals and sell it to someone else and sell it to someone else. And so now we don't even know who owns what.
But those buyers and lenders bear responsibility for that too, don't they?
No, everyone has a responsibility. Even the lender has a responsibility. Everyone was irresponsible, but I think that the whole push was on Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac was by government. And I think that a big mistake was made in Washington by the very same people now that scream, let's bail out and let's bail out. So I think since government has already been responsible for creating this problem, I think that government is responsible to help along. And from then on, it is a matter of what is your definition of helping along. I think the key thing is no matter who you help, they themselves first, before you give them anything, have to show fiscal responsibility and that they have to act together. So you cannot let them abuse the system. You cannot go and give corporate America and the Wall Street and everyone this billions of dollars, and then they grab millions of them, pay themselves with the great benefits and all of this and go off and have great vacations. That's not fair while someone else is getting kicked out of their home. So we have to have a balance, and I think that besides just making the decisions, you have to have great follow-through, and you have to have someone in charge that then goes and really does it the right way, because it's always one thing to make the decisions, another thing to actually then execute that vision and that bailout all the way through.